Hello everyone, this is Raven, and today we're going to take a look at the Warhammer 2 multiplayer first look. So today we have 4 battles. I think it's going to be Lizardmen versus Skaven, High Elves versus Lizardmen, Skaven versus Dark Elves, and Dark Elves versus High Elves. So we get to see all 4 races today. Not quite all 4 races against each other though, but you know what? You get to take a look at least what each one of these races does. So we're just going to skip past this fluff a little bit, go to this first battle, and start taking a look at everything. So we got the Warp Lightning Cannon, looks beautiful. So they started talking about, oh, well, actually, there's a little card right there. Go back. I want to see that. That was the thing that I was kind of sad about, is I didn't get to see the card very often in this game. Or not this game, but this live stream. So, oop, got it. All right, so magical damage, 191 missile damage per shot from each one of these things, armor piercing, and a bonus versus large. So that's a pretty big deal. 22 ammunition, pretty decent range, I would say. And, of course, the crews are going to be terrible. Pretty decent health on them too, and I guess they're on ultra size because there's 4 cannons instead of 3, so that's a thing to note. But I really want to see what that bonus versus large is, because if it's like 30 or 40 or something like that, that's pretty huge. That could put it up to like 230, 220 damage per shot into a target, and each one of these cannons is actually really, really accurate. You'll see that in this video a little bit. So I'm gonna hit play, and I'll talk about that. So like as you watch this cannon fire in on some like Stegodons, or if they have a Bastillodon in there somewhere, it's really accurate. All 4 of the cannon shots like hit the exact same spot, whereas like if you look at like a dwarf cannon that's like not chevroned up at all, it has that large like area of effect where it can like, not area of effect, but area where it can land, excuse me. Because it's not, it's not like a pinpoint accuracy every single time the cannon's fired. That would just be ridiculous. But for some reason, that's how the Warp Lightning Cannon actually functions. It shoots directly where it wants to go. So it's like, oh, I want to hit this Rat Ogre. All 4 shots will hit that one Rat Ogre, which is insane. But I mean, perhaps they'll change that because they see, oh, this is a little bit too accurate, and especially because it's like a Skaven thing. Or maybe they're trying to go for that just to try and balance them out a little bit, because they need that anti-large presence, because all they really have is Storm Vermin and like the Abomination, stuff like that. So we'll see how it works out. Also, they have the Poison Wind Globadiers, or Globadiers, whatever people call them. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Could just be a speaker's preference. But I figured that they would be a lot better, because they have like a 37 missile damage, I think, and then like a bonus versus large on top of that. And see, look at that. Look at how accurate all 4 of those shots were. Like all 4 of them nearly hit Mazdamundi till he turned around real quick and just kind of like put the jukes on him. But anyway, the Poison Wind Globadiers, I thought they would do a lot better, kind of like how the javelin throwers for the Marauders are in the Norscan armies. Like, they're really good at taking down large targets, and I thought it'd be the same thing with these guys for the Skaven. But you know what? Like, I feel like they really just don't do that much damage, or maybe it's just like the ridiculous amount of armor on these Stegodons and stuff like that is just too much for them. I'm not sure, but I mean, they did do some pretty substantial damage, but it's also mixed into a unit of Plague Censer Bearers, which I believe have armor sundering and armor piercing damage, so it's pretty big stuff coming out of them. That Carnosaur over there is going to fuck up those Rat Ogres. So later on, there's actually a part in the battle where the Carnosaur comes into a fight against the High Elves, and it has like 50% HP, and it gets stuck into combat with Tyrion on his horse, and then 2 nobles on horses as well, and each of the nobles has a halberd, so I'm expecting a pretty good anti-large bonus coming out of them with armor-piercing damage, so pretty good damage coming out of them, because halberds hit hard too. So he was against all 3 of them. Before the Carnosaur was done with his work, he took Tyrion from like full HP down to like 10 HP. He fucked him up so bad. And on like 2 heroes and a lord were fighting the same Carnosaur. Not only that, but there's also infantry all around it. Before it had to run away or got pulled out, Tyrion fled because he was dying. Like, he routed. That's insane. So, big damage coming out of the Carnosaurs. Very big hitters coming out of them. For the Lizardmen, so make sure you pay attention to all these dinosaurs, because they're absolutely insane, for sure. And I'm sorry about the quality. Like, it is what it is. I mean, I have it set to auto 1080p, but I mean, it's gonna look like this. It looked like this during the stream. It's gonna look like this on YouTube now that it's been rendered. Especially, probably not gonna look even better. I mean, it's gonna look even worse, excuse me, because I'm rendering it again on YouTube for my own video. But it is what it is. See, look at those shots. Hitting that Stegodon in the face both times right there. These cannons are super accurate. Have y'all noticed that? And then Trophy Head's going off right there, giving a minus to melee defense and melee attack of 48 and like 25, I thought it said. That's pretty crazy. That'd be really painful on a Lord if it gets stuck into combat and Queek just runs in and starts like mopping up the floor with them pretty much. He has really good armor-piercing damage, so Queek's nothing to sneeze at, but, you know, he can get overwhelmed a little bit easily because, obviously, he's just a single rat running around on foot, and these poor Temple Guard aren't being used appropriately. They're just kind of sitting there getting chucked at, poisoned. But this game looks so beautiful. I love the thematics of the Lizardmen. I just love watching them all move around and shit. I just like watching them walk. It makes me happy. The Skaven, oh, look at that. That ability going off, I think it was called, like, Verminous Valor. Yeah, there it was. Gives them, like, additional speed and leadership and makes a big old explosion. So it doesn't hurt friendly troops, but it knocks around enemy troops and does a little bit of damage to them. Not sure how much. And it just kind of opens up the area for him to be able to move around. But obviously, cavalry and dinosaurs, of course, of all things, are not going to be knocked around by that ability whatsoever. So it's kind of looking like the rats are starting to clean up here. Everything's getting really low, and things are becoming a little bit secluded from the rest of the army over here. There's just so many rats on the field. The Lizardmen just can't handle them right now. So definitely numbers are the way to go with the Skaven. That's what they've said, and it is so true. I mean, just look at all these fucking clan rats in this unit. There's 142 of them left in that unit, even after taking so much of a beating from the Pterodons and the Carnosaur. I feel like the Carnosaur should have definitely came back and started finding Queek Headtaker over here, and that would have definitely made everybody start rounding a little bit quicker among the Skaven ranks. But, you know, it is what it is. They play how they play. I think I heard something about people getting early access to this game. I'm not sure if that already happened or if it's going to happen soon, but I'm pretty sure there's actually going to be a stream. I'll actually just Google that right now. Just because I want y'all guys to know everything that I know. Don't want anything to play, though. That'd be kind of annoying. All right, no videos are playing. I thought it was like Air of Carthage was going to do a stream or something like that. Twitch. Air of Carthage. I heard something about him doing a stream today, perhaps, but I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. But, you know, we'll have to see. Yeah, he's not online or anything like that, so that's unfortunate. Well, if I find out anything else, I'll make a short video about it so you guys can go check that out, because I want you guys to be able to see as much as I can. And right there you saw the revivification. All right, I'm going to say that one more time. Revivification crystal. God dang. Going off on Lord Mazdamundi right there. They actually said that it has 10 charges, and it lasts for 26 seconds, but it only heals about 500 HP or so, they said, per use, which is kind of ridiculous. So in total, it takes 260 seconds to regen up to 5,000 HP, whereas like an AoE heal from, well, I guess, you know, they probably have a Lore of Life caster, maybe? I'm not sure if Lord Mazdamundi definitely has a healing spell, for sure. I'm not sure if they have any kind of Lore Life magic or not, though. That'd be interesting to look at. So I guess, you know, that's not their only healing ability in the game, so it would be a pretty important thing to try and bring that unit with you, because it is like an invocation of the heck. It doesn't just heal models that are alive, it heals models that are alive and then revives dead ones. So that's pretty important to note. So I guess, you know, over the course of a battle, that could make or break it. Like if you're like, oh, this unit of Croxagores is near full HP, if I just give them this little heal, I can get back a model or two or something like that, you know what I mean? That'd be pretty huge. Or if you put it on a Temple Guard that you held back in reserve that got beat up and you pulled out of the fight, and you're just like, all right, I'm going to wait for the end, and you just kept healing them up all the way to full, and they're back up to full, and in late game, you just pull in a full unit of Temple Guard. That'd be huge, because those guys are no joke. Look at this guy going ham, though. All these damn rats running all over the place, Wart Lightning shooting in. Oh, my God. Look how accurate it is, though. Like, it almost never misses. Truly, it really just does not miss. It missed that one time, but that's just because the Stegodon just like swung to the right there, hitting all those troops. Man, that thing's so accurate. Very, very good battle. Sorry, maybe I'll go ahead and just turn them up a little bit so we can have a little bit of background noise, but we're definitely just going to be listening to me. But Queek Headtaker over here, they're talking about like how good he is, and maybe this is kind of annoying. I don't really want them talking. Never mind, I changed my mind. He has really good armor piercing damage, and he's no joke in melee. Like, he definitely can do a lot of damage against a Lord if he gets put up against the right kind of target. However, Lord Mazdamundi himself is very tanky. He has like 120, 130 armor, something like that, and about like 410 to 420 weapon strength, and most of it's armor piercing with a bonus versus infantry as well. So he can do a lot of work against infantry, crowds of them, because I'm assuming it's going to have like large sweeping attacks, kind of like the Mammoth does for the Norskins. And right here, after one more shot, he's going to die. And you're actually going to see briefly that he's going to like poof out of existence. Right there, that little blue poof right before the green. That was actually him like fading into the warp, I guess. I'm not quite sure what exactly that is from the lore when a Slann mage dies, but certainly what happened. He disappeared. He didn't get blasted away from this earth. And that's looking like it's going to be a wrap-up for these guys. That's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead. It just shows these poor Temple Guard fighting it out to the last right here before they call it quits. That is just horrifying. All right, so let's see if they show... They didn't show the... now they did. All right, so let's see. Lots of kills on these Saurus Warriors. Some good kills on these Temple Guard as well. But you got to realize that... they had 1,426, but not only that, they also summoned a shit ton more of units throughout this battle. I think at one point it was like 2,000 something. I was like, holy hell, that's so many fucking rats. So these kills are definitely a little bit inflated, so gotta watch out for that. One of my dogs complaining. Hey, Crash, calm down. He's underneath the bed just hiding out. I don't know why he does that. Lord Mazdamundi, like right here, 175 kills. That's huge. But like I said, it is a little bit inflated because you're fighting rats, but, 175 kills is 175 kills. That's at least a whole unit dead by himself, so that's good shit. Not only that, but he had all those magical abilities to be able to heal up other people, so he's going to be a really, really good and viable Lord, but he's going to be very expensive. They said he's going to be up to like 3,000 cost, I think, once he's fully kitted out with all of his spells and everything else. But of course, you're always going to want to choose the best spells you want and not take all of them because you want to use your Winds of Magic appropriately. So we're going to skip forward a little bit here. So they show off the Dragon Princes, then they're going to show off the Star Dragon a little bit right here as well. I'll go back. I don't know where it was. We got some Spearmen, White Lines of Trace, Archers, and I think they had some Silver Helms over there, maybe? I can't remember if that's a Silver Helm unit or not, or if it's just the Dragon Princes again. That Star Dragon just looks absolutely gorgeous, though. But, oh man, this battle, I had the biggest pet peeve. So, they talked about the different types of dragons, There's the Sun, Moon, and Star Dragon. The Sun Dragon has a very large AoE, so when you use it against a giant blob of infantry, it's going to devastate them, right? Then you go to the Moon Dragon. It's a little bit more focused in, so like smaller unit sizes like cavalry or like 1 or 2 units just kind of clumped together fighting each other would be a good target as well, or something like that. But then once you get to the Star Dragon, they said it's just so accurate. You want to use it on like a Lord or like an individual really large target like a War Hydra or the Death Hag, I believe that's what she was called, for the Dark Elves that they have today. And she's on her little cauldron of blood over there, so that would have been a perfect target. Over here, these Illyrian Reavers are going to get in against these Dark Riders, get their charge off, where they're not going to be able to get their charge off, and just absolutely shred them apart. So they barely take like 5% HP damage, where these Dark Riders lose like 12 models and like half their HP. Look at that. They're absolutely fucking these guys up. Now, I have no idea what the stats are on the Illyrian Reavers. I remember they're pretty low for the Dark Riders, but, even still, those guys don't look hurt at all from this fight, so that's pretty impressive for them. And then here come the Cold One Knights. They have like 3 of them, I think, in this match for the Dark Elves. Those guys are really good. High armor piercing damage, pretty good speed, and good armor too. So very, very, very cost-efficient cavalry, I would assume. Not sure how much they cost, though. That'd be the biggest thing. Because I'm seeing a lot of uses coming out of them. I think they'd be a good contender against all the Bretonnian cavalry in the game. So, and then not only that, but their infantry as well would be a good fight for the Bretonnians too, because some of the Dark Elf infantry is very heavily armored, like the Harganoth Executioners have pretty good armor. And look at this breath attack right here. Like, it looks so good, but it's just such a bad target. Such a bad target. Because, like, it just annihilated that little side of the formation, but it's like, if that was a Lord, imagine the damage that would have done to him. Like, if Malekith was on a dragon or a horse or something like that and got focused down, or the Death Hag. Look at this giant fucking target. If you hit it with that breath attack, it would annihilate that thing. Absolutely annihilate it, but they didn't do that, so It's whatever. It happens like 2 more times where they start firing at infantry or cavalry on the move and completely whiff the attack, and I'm just like, oh, it hurts. It hurts to watch, but when this game's released, high level play will be there, and we'll start seeing people use these dragons effectively. So that's gonna be good. Oh man, beautiful game though. All the auroras in the background, or rainbows, whatever you want to call them. It's just beautiful stuff. Malekith, I love how he walks too. He's just got his sword on his shoulder. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's not even running. He's just kind of like got a fast trot. It's just after the rest of his army. So, pretty cool shit. There's those Dark Riders all beat up. They're like, alright, fuck this. I don't want to fight this anymore. So he's kind of keeping his cavalry on the flanks right here. He's actually going to start engaging all the High Elf cavalry pretty soon. And the High Elves are going to decimate their cavalry pretty heavily. I think that's just because of the added damage of Tyrion in the fight and those spearmen supporting them. But I'm not sure. I think they get off the cavalry fight and just kind of go back to it after it's all said and done. Yeah. So they're going to start focusing on this action over here now a little bit. So I feel like I'm not really sure how all the high elf infantry like really compare against everything else in the game, because I haven't had a feel for it myself. Like, I feel like the high elf infantry is really generic. Like, there's only like 4-5 units of infantry, like melee infantry, and then the rest is like all archers. Like, you have your archers with light armor, Lothar and Seaguard, and like Lothar and Seaguard with shields and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's really important to focus on the high elf cavalry and their monsters. I feel like that's truly where they shine compared to their infantry. Like, honestly, I don't really know. Like, Lothar and Seaguard, depending on their cost, could be really, really cost effective because they're essentially just as strong as a spearman unit, but with less numbers. But I mean, they have all that range damage prior to the fight actually beginning, and if you kite around with them as well and can hold off hold back the tide of like whatever it is you're fighting and get more damage off with them before actually engaging, they could be a really, really powerful unit. They have so much versatility because they got the spears, so they got that bonus versus large, charge defense versus large, because it's, spear unit's always going to have a charge defense versus large unless you're a goblin or something like that. But then not only that, like, if you put them in a guard formation, like, as the front ranks are fighting, the back ranks can continue firing over the heads into like whatever it is they're fighting. So pretty good stuff could come out of them, but I feel like that's not how how they got used at all. This White Lions got terrified right there. I guess the Death Hag on the Cauldron of Blood actually terrifies units. I'm not sure. They don't actually ever highlight her unit card to see, so that's unfortunate. Beautiful AoE spell coming out right there as well. But really, the Dark Elves just start mopping the field. They start running away right here, all the High Elves do, because they're like, oh, the Murderous Prowess popped, so we got to get the fuck up out of here because we're going to get chopped to pieces. So they're just charging after him, and then like one of the units eventually falls behind because it gets caught, I think, and they're just like, all right, just turn and fight. And then the res come back and start helping out as well. But at that point, it's too late because, Murderous Prowess is still going, and they get into combat right here and get this charge off. So, that's just unfortunate for the High Elves, but, it is what it is. And then over here, oh man, they're just in shambles. They're all split up all over the place. And the something to notice, though, is that the Cold One Night Riders, or Cold One Riders, whatever they're called for the Dark Elves. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. They can actually rampage because they're on the Cold Ones, and so Cold Ones do have that like feral mechanic kind of thing. They can rampage, go crazy, kind of like the rest of the Lizardmen army can. So that's something to realize too. Is like they're a really, really strong cavalry unit. So if they get pressured too hard, they can just snap and just start fighting to the death, which would not be the best option in some places where like heavy micro could overwhelmingly win. But like if it's a desperate situation where you're like, I have no way to win this fight, they're gonna rout and leave. But if they go into that rampage mechanic and just start fighting to the bitter end, they're definitely gonna be like putting out so much damage, like so much more damage than they would if they routed, obviously, because they're gonna keep fighting no matter what. And I think rampage actually buffs up attack skills because you lose control of them. I'm not sure if it does or not, but I know it keeps them from routing. So they're just going to fight and fight and fight. And because they have such high armor-piercing damage, it's going to be really, really important. Like, imagine them on a Grail Knight unit, and you're like, oh, no, I lost control of them, and they're definitely going to lose this fight because it's fucking Grail Knights. They got their charge off, blah, blah, blah. they're still gonna shred them up because they have such good damage. So it's a really good thing that they have that. Honestly, like in some situations, it could be really powerful. God damn that statue. The little ram. All right. It's kind of funny, but I'm glad it's in the game. They definitely needed something like that. These Blackguard Corsairs. Excuse me. Those Blackguard Corsairs look pretty good. Dual sword infantry in this game seem to do very well. They said that they have a bonus versus infantry, and they also seem to have very high weapon strength stats. So it's pretty cool stuff coming out of them. I'm expecting to see them be used heavily. Especially in this game, because not too many of the Lizardmen frontline units have a lot of armor, and neither do the Skaven, and neither do the High Elves, honestly. Like, High Elf Spearmen and White Lions of Trace, I don't believe have too much armor. So, you know, having really high DPS infantry like the Blackguard Corsairs could be very powerful, mixed in with some, like, Dark Shards in the back, trying to, like, keep cavalry off of you with that armor-piercing missile damage that they have. Just, by the way, Dark Shards are going to be probably the best archer unit in the game, hands down, because not only do they have like pretty decent armor, they have a silver shield that's active at all times, and then they have armor-piercing damage, and it's like 28 missile damage as well. That's huge. So like, Thunderers have armor-piercing damage, and they have a shield, but that shield's only active if they're in combat, like melee combat. Whereas the Dark Shards just have their shield up all the time. So not only are they blocking 55% of the shots that are hitting them, they also have like pretty standard armor to boot. So it's like they're going to be really, really effective archers in this game for sure. Because they're not only going to be able to shred up all the archers that they're fighting in a ranged engagement, but like any cavalry that they can catch that's like out in the open and not like protected by like just numbers around them that are going to obstruct the line of sight, they can just shred that cavalry apart, because anything that's not blocked is just going to pierce their armor so heavily that it's probably going to start killing off models really, really quickly. So they're going to be really, really powerful. That's something you guys want to watch out for in this game. Those Dark Shards are going to be no joke for sure. So good shit coming out of the Dark Elves with them. I'm pretty excited for the Dark Elves, not going to lie. I think that was from Tyrion, but I don't know. I honestly don't know who cast that spell. I don't even know where Tyrion is at right now. I don't know where that spell came from at all. I wish I could tell y'all. Right here, though, this regrowth, this extended cast regrowth on the Star Dragon gives it plus 44% physical resistance and heals it up from like 30, 40 HP to like almost full 30, 40 HP. 30 to 40% HP, excuse me, to almost full. So like that, it's going to skyrocket in HP. So like right there is like almost at 50%. That shit's not going to stop. Not going to stop for a long time. Look at it's going. It's just going. Man, look, it's almost fucking, it's like getting close to full now. Shit, that regrowth was really, really powerful on that Star Dragon. Can you imagine that? Working so hard to kill something like a Star Dragon, and then just all of a sudden it's just back up to full HP. It's just like, well, fuck me, right? So good stuff coming out of this fight, but at this point it's gonna turn into just like where this guy gives up. The Star Dragon starts getting chased and ends up being routed because of that hit right there from the Death Hag. And then, you know, with the death of Tyrion, all the rest of his forces are so low on leadership, and there's just really nothing he can do to handle them. That's a huge blob of them, especially with all those Hargonath executioners in the back. They're going to devastate those infantry. So that's pretty much it for here. It's going to wrap it up. This guy concedes, and they're going to go to the final screen here. So all the infantry got hella outclassed by these fucking Hargonath executioners. They just dumpstered all the high elf infantry. But not only that, but these Cold One Knights actually traded pretty effectively because they only really had to contend with like two cavalry units, because these Illyrian Reavers don't have the kind of stats that you'll see on like the Silver Helms or the Dragon Princes of Calidor, obviously. The Star Dragon underperformed. 100% underperformed, because it should have been able to take out this hero, probably should have been able to kill Tyrion, and this Lore of Lifecaster was used pretty effectively, though, I must say, and Tyrion was used pretty effectively, too, to win this cavalry engagement, be it barely. He did win, but if he could have got rid of the leadership, for sure, the rest of these powerful units definitely should have been able to take care of the rest of this stuff. So if he brought in this the Star Dragon, to start winning this cavalry engagement, and then start focusing on the heroes, like, almost entirely, that probably would have been the High Elves game right there, because this infantry corps is shit, honestly. But like if you take a look at the cavalry force and the heroes and the monster, like A grade quality units. So that's exactly what the High Elves are all about, though. High quality, very low number. So 701. He did have a little bit of trash because he had the spearmen. White Lions of Trace I wouldn't really call trash, but they're not as good as like Harganeth Executioners, obviously. And these Blackheart Corsairs absolutely destroyed these spearmen that they caught, so that's something to note as well. I think this is a unit of Bleak Spears, probably. I'm not sure. And then Death Hag and Malekith did exactly what they're supposed to do. Got into the fight, fucked everything up with magic, or just destroyed high-value targets. So, they did what they're supposed to do. So, good for him. Next fight is going to be the High Elves versus Lizardmen, I believe. And yes, it is. So we're actually going to take a look at the cost right here. So we got 2 nobles right here. They're going to be on horses, and they both have those halberds. I'm not sure what their skills are going to be, but I'm expecting really high damage out of them, like 400s maybe, with armor piercing and a bonus versus large. Whereas Tyrion doesn't have a bonus versus large, I don't believe, and doesn't have maybe he does have a bonus versus large. Honestly, I can't remember what they did for him, but he doesn't have armor piercing. That's the biggest thing out of him. He hits really hard. He hits like a truck. 490, I think, was what he hit with, or his weapon strength was. But no armor piercing can make him, do a whole lot less damage. But he's actually pretty cheap too for what he does. I can't tell. I guess this is techless right here. I really wish they had shown off techless. We've seen this guy in every single battle except for the Destroyer quest battle, but we never got to see what techless did exactly. So that's unfortunate, but I guess we'll figure it out. So right here, infantry, Phoenix Guard, 1400. That's so expensive. These Swordmasters of Hoeth, 1300. I believe that's what they're called. Hoeth, right? I don't know. The White Lions of Trace, 800. So this is a pretty expensive, great axe infantry, but I think they get outclassed because of other infantry having more armor or more damage or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the stats look like on these guys off the top of my head. I did a video on the High Elves so long ago, but I don't remember. And then you have your 4 units of missile infantry. And like I said, it's really important to use your heroes and your really high quality shit as effective as possible with the High Elves, because that's what they're all about. They're all about that quality over quantity. So, whereas Skaven are the complete opposite, quantity over quality. So, pretty important to micro your units, though. Always is, obviously, but High Elves especially. Excuse me. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and skip forward a little bit. We don't need to hear about this. So we're gonna see a Bastillodon with a solar engine coming out of the Lizardmen right here, and right now they're just kind of teeing off, poking around each other, trying to prod around, see if they can get around any kind of units and get into them. Right here, he's kind of firing into these White Lines of Trace. I definitely would have said to start firing into the Phoenix Guard instead with the solar engine on that Bastillodon, because, obviously Phoenix Guard are way more expensive than the White Lions of Trace. Not only are they, cost 600 more, but they're so much more effective in combat, because you have all these large units, you have all these dinosaurs that are going to get shredded apart by the Phoenix Guard if they get caught by them. So it's something you really got to watch out for. And then the Silver Helms even would have been a good target for him, because, cavalry, it can go through quite a few units of cavalry. And once something gets hit by that blast, they just die. So, losing one model in a cavalry unit isn't the biggest deal, but it starts adding up much more quickly than when you're firing into a unit with 75, 90 units in them. You know what I mean? So it's really, really effective to start firing into stuff that gets you more bang for your buck for sure. So he starts refocusing into the Phoenix Guard over there, and right here, these guys are going to get caught by the net of Amintok right here, cast by Lord Mazdabundi. This Carnosaur is going to come in and just fuck these guys up. He's like, this is the end right here. And some good damage coming out of him. Those guys in the back aren't being used at all. They could certainly come in and rear charge the front lines right here. They could have just pushed straight through right here. But you know what? They play how they play, like I said. These guys are terrified for good reason. Fucking Carnosaur is shredding them apart, excuse me. And these Temple Guard just looking so sexy. I can't wait to use those guys in combat. And the Phoenix Guard, I wonder how the Phoenix Guard versus Temple Guard tee off. I wonder how that's going to work out. Who's going to win that engagement? I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to see. I feel like the Phoenix Guard would do pretty good, but I'm not sure. There goes that little goon squad right there. The 2 nobles following Tyrion to the death. Oh, boy. Those Saurus warriors just got fucking pancaked. Oh god. Ruination of cities as well going off by Lord Mastamundi, just putting the final nail in the coffin on his own unit. But, doing some pretty good damage to the units around him. Actually, let me go back and just kind of re-look at that. I want to see exactly what kind of damage we're looking at. So they're all full HP, about half. Oh, God. Okay, yeah. So that did about like 25% HP damage. That's pretty good, but it did that to like all three of those units right there. So that's pretty good, especially because that's a free spell. It's not bound to the Winds of Magic at all, so completely free to cost. So good damage coming out of that spell for sure. Definitely fucked up all three of those units, but, definitely finished off his own unit as well. Oh, God. Oh, God. Just throwing like 20 dudes each with those charges. I love it. Mazdamudi's sitting up there all fat and happy. He's just like, good. So happy. All right. So, net of Amentok going off again. He's kind of pulling out just a little bit, I think. Maybe. Yep, there he goes. He's kind of pulling out. He wants to heal himself and stay alive because he's getting focused down by those Eagle Claw bolt throwers pretty heavily. We hear some Saurus warriors getting pulled in. They're going to start doing some pretty good work, I would assume. Phoenix Guard over here fighting, I think, maybe Temple Guard. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there's the Temple Guard. So, no. They're just fighting regular Saurus warriors. And the Bastillodon with the Solar Engine and the Revivification Crystal are coming into combat now. And they're going to do some pretty good stuff for them. I actually can't remember who won the... Oh, yeah. Now I remember. So that Carnosaur just all the way in the back right here, just not being used at all. Poor guy. He's just like, I shredded apart that cavalry. Fuck yeah, now what? And he's just sitting there. He doesn't know what to do anymore. They forgot about him. But he's pretty quick, so he'll come back into the combat pretty soon, so that's good for him. So let's see here. Temple Guard looking so good. Oh my god. Look at that little Dark Elf Aurora in the back now. I guess instead of just like a regular like rainbow that you see out of the High Elves or perhaps Lizardmen. I do like this matchup, though. High Elves versus Lizardmen. You got your really high tier versus your really high tier as well kind of units. So, lots of really good stuff coming out of the High Elves, but lots of really good and powerful units coming out of the Lizardmen as well in the form of monsters and their Temple Guard, or Croxagores even. I really wish we could see more about Croxagores. We only saw them once in that Lizardmen versus High Elf quest battle, so that's unfortunate. I wish we could see more of them. They look so good. So yeah, we got lots of healing spells actually coming out of the Lizardmans. He had, let me just pause this again real quick. He had something going off on Lord Mastamundi. I'm going to highlight him again. I'm going to read what it was. So that makes... Okay, so Cold-Blooded. So this is the third heal that I've seen. So you have the Revivification Crystal using whatever it is. You have Cold-Blooded, then you have Apotheosis. So I think Lord Mastamundi casted this himself. I'm not sure. But that means, or maybe that's from the Revivification Crystal. I'm not sure. But it could be there's 3 different types of heals now, or there's just the 2. Maybe I'm misreading what it is, because he is right there by that crystal. So I think I'm just going to call it the crystal from now on. That's so much easier. Here comes the Carnosaur. He wants blood. He's got his eyes locked on Tyrion right here. Here he comes. This is what I told you about. So he's got the nobles right here. He's got all these fucking dudes around him. And this Carnosaur is just going to go straight in there. He doesn't give a fuck. Yep, right here. He starts putting the tail whip on Tyrion. Yep. He's going to tear him up so bad. So they don't show his life bar yet, but I'm telling you, he had like 50% HP when he went in there. He starts rampaging, and from here he just starts fucking up Tyrion so hard. The nobles start coming in. They're like, Tyrion, please don't die. But look at that. He's already at like 25% HP. That next attack right there just put him at like 10%. So that just, oh man, he's getting shredded apart. And Tyrion's going to run. He's terrified. He should be. He almost got eaten by a damn Carnosaur. He's like, fuck this. These nobles are getting destroyed now, and Lord Mastamundi starts putting out the chase. He's going after Tyrion himself. He's like, I'll finish this. I know what I must do. All these Temple Guard coming in, surrounding these nobles, and now all this huge armor-piercing anti-large bonus is going to start working its toll on them. They start pulling out. They're going to go help out Tyrion, but it's not going to be enough. Tyrion dies. He gets trampled into the earth, and Lord Mastamundi is going to turn around and start fighting these nobles. So this is a pretty good engagement for these two nobles, but in comes another Stegodon over here in the back. You're going to see it charge in right here. Here it goes. It's rampaging. It's so angry. It's heavy. It comes in and fucking just sandwiches the two of them right there. That was good. And that's going to be it. This guy flees. He's fucking done. He's terrified. The other noble's going to be fucking done with that fight too. And that's it. That's all she wrote for that fight. That was a good one. Very good fight. I love it. Oh man, the dinosaurs are so good. Alright, let's take a look at these kills now. No kills on this Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, but it was doing some good damage to Mazdamundi and all these large targets. So that's kind of what you want it for, I guess. But it could certainly have done a little bit more to these Temple Guard. And the Saurus Warriors always are performing pretty good for themselves. Like, I'm not sure what their cost is, but they always seem to perform quite well. 82 kills out of only 650 units that he deployed, so I'm assuming he beat the shit out of the Spearman unit, went to another unit like these White Lions of Trace or perhaps Phoenix Guard and started performing really well there too, so that's really good shit to see. These Kings got outplayed. I think they got fucking ran down by some Knights or something, I'm not sure. So that's unfortunate. Temple Guard did pretty good for themselves, of course. They teed off with these Phoenix Guard right here, so they did some pretty good work for them in the fourth quarter, holding it down pretty tight, and Lord Mazdamundi definitely came in with that clutch play and just stomped the shit out of Tyrion and put him to rest. He's like, don't worry, you won't go crazy. I'll just kill you. Don't worry about that. Now we're going to get into the Skaven, start looking at their cost a little bit. So right here, he's got some clan rats, 350. Then you got some slaves with spears and some slaves, so 25 cost between the two of them. I'll just bring the spears because they have that little bit of anti-large bonus. Why not, you know? And you have clan rats with spears. Then you have clan rats with sword and shield. Clan rats with spear and shield, I believe. Then you have some gutter runners, perhaps. Death runners, I think. Then you have storm vermin, plague censer bearers, and then you have storm vermin with sword and shield. I believe that's what it is. Then you got your plague priest over here, an assassin, Queek head taker, got Lord Skrulk right here, and then you got like I guess these are some seers, some gray seers or something like that. And you have the war boss. I can't remember their roster off the top of my head. You got a couple Globadier throwers, so 650. They're pretty costly as far as range units go, of course. But I definitely think if they get put on the right type of target, they can do a whole lot. Because there's two variants of them. There's one with like that purple pinkish mist, and there's one with the green. I can't remember the difference between the two of them. Then you have Rat Ogres for 800, the same cost as what Cryptors used to be. And they do pretty good too, I'm not going to lie. They're pretty effective. 3 units of Plague Censer Bearers right here, so these guys are going to wreck the front line. I think he has 1 unit of Death Runners. I believe that's what these guys are. And some clan slaves, you know, just to fill out the ranks. A Doom Wheel. Doom Wheels are going to be awesome. So since they only cost 1,400, I could definitely see like a group of like 2 or 3 of these rolling around together. So you could put like one right here in the front, and then one like a bit to the back and behind it, or a bit to the side and behind, and you could just like kind of like as they move forward, they can shoot forward, and then you can like turn them, and then they can shoot to the side, and you can turn them again to the other direction, and they can shoot to that side as well, because they can shoot in 3 directions because they have 3 cannons. So you know, if you micro the 2 of them in like a locked group or something like that, they could definitely like fuck up a cavalry unit before they even got into that engagement or something like that. So heavy micro coming out of Doom Wheels would be absolutely awesome. I could not wait to see how pros use this kind of stuff. Like we'll see Ninja Hunt probably put some mad moves on people on the ladder with these Doom Wheels. It's going to be funny to see. He does shenanigans like that all the time for the community. I love watching Ninja Hunt. He always comes up with the best kinds of builds. So you know, any kind of like funny stuff like that, he'll definitely do. I'm expecting him to do something with the Doom Wheels that's pretty funny when this game comes out in the online battles for sure. And he's going to be on the free-for-all, like nonstop at first. I'm sure he's going to love the shit out of that because it forces you to fight. He's all about, you have to fight, get in there, don't be a coward, stop running away, just fight me. So he's definitely going to be in there, like Flint, you know? So good shit. And so we're going to take a look right here at Queek Head Taker and his Assassin and the Plague Monk. So actually take a look at the Assassin real quick, and you can like look at his little blades all dipped in that green. I guess it's poison, or maybe it's warpstone on the ends. I'm not quite sure. It could be both. But he looks really powerful. Very sneaky as well. Got the Poison Wind Globadiers over here. Some Rat Ogres in the back and the Doom Wheel. Good shit. So I'm going to... Alright, let's go ahead and pause this. So 35 armor piercing damage. Not sure how much of it is armor piercing. And a bonus versus large. Does magical damage, but they only have 10 ammunition? Wow. I thought they had more. Only 10 shots for these guys? That seems a little bit low. I don't know. Maybe I guess it kind of makes sense because they have to like carry these giant orbs with them all over the place. Whereas like just like a whole bunch of arrows in your quiver is just kind of like you just put a million of them in there and you're just like you're good to go. But they have really good armor, 100 armor. So I guess that's nice. Leadership 55, pretty good speed as well. Well, I guess that's all Skaven, so. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll have to see how these guys really do perform because, I mean, they are pretty heavily armored, so they can, like, hold out against ranged fire, but once they get swarmed in combat, their combat stats just aren't going to allow them to live, so you definitely need to support them because if they get, attacked and surrounded and stuff like that, that's just it. They're going to be done. Got a whole bunch of plague monks all over the place. Good shit coming out of them. I hope they highlight that one unit. I thought it was like I could have sworn that they had death runners. I don't know where it is though. That doom wheel just getting cranked, not even going yet. Hey, that thing looks awesome. All right, let's go ahead and skip forward and see what we got for the dark elves. We got some witch elves. They're gonna do really good. So just FYI, y'all. Skaven have really shitty armor. So anybody that has super high DPS and really high melee attack, doesn't even matter what their armor is or what their melee defense is, they're gonna fuck them up. So like, War Dancers for the Wood Elves, Battle Pilgrims for the Bretonians, anything like that. They're gonna eat the Skaven alive for sure. So you're gonna want to bring quite a few of them. Black Ark Corsairs, they're gonna really do some good damage too. And he, what is that? Oh, there's the Death Runners. So yeah, for sure. They had those in the back. Some Dark Riders in the back over there. Vanguard deployed. And he got 3 units of Cold One Knights right here, so good shit. He actually ends up charging the army, I think. I can't really remember. I think, yeah, he's just going to turn around now. He's like, all right, we're just going to go into combat. Fuck it. It's just a bunch of little Skaven. What are they going to do against us? But, I mean, that's a big-ass horde. I guess that was a pretty good charge, honestly, because it was against Plague Sensor Bearers, and those are really hard-hitting infantry, so if they could get some good damage on them and just, like, pull out before they can start standing back up and hitting them, that'd really be really good, but, unfortunately, they didn't do that. Oh, my God. Look at that damage. That one Cold One Knight's at, like, 50% HP. Those guys are gonna get cleaned up right there. They're all caught. They're so slow. Oh, boy. Oh, God, no. Those poor Cold One Knights, that was not a good trade at all. But I mean, every kill helps. There's so many Skaven, so you have to think about it this way too. Every kill, I think they also explained it in this video too. So how the Dark Elves work is they have that murderous prowess, so it's like a little purple bar. We can't see it, obviously, because we're not playing as the Dark Elves. We're spectating as them. But as that purple bar fills up for the Dark Elves, they get closer and closer to that murderous mastery or murderous prowess popping for each of their units. And when that actually activates, it's going to be devastating because there's so many rats that it's going to be really easy to fill up. And all your units are going to be so healthy and so still filled with vigor because rats are so easy to kill, right? That's why there's so many of them to kind of balance that out. Once that happens, they're going to start just pushing through these guys so fucking hard because there's going to be so many units still left on the field for the Dark Elves compared to like really, really late in a game. You might finally get it and it just barely tips you over the edge to be able to win the fight, whereas right here he might be able to get it like really early on and just absolutely decimate these poor the Skaven, excuse me. So right there you can see the cannon shot going off on the side, not the front, and then right there again. So you don't have to keep in mind, you do got 3 arcs of fire with that doom wheel. Microing it effectively is going to put a lot of damage out with it, which is going to be really important. Those Poison Wind Globadiers getting in on that Death Hag on her Cauldron of Blood right there, good stuff. That's a perfect target for them because she's such a big target and she can take so much damage from them that it's going to be, exactly what they want to be doing. Right here, some good charges coming out of this cavalry for once because now there's just a bunch of clan rats and shitty rats that are all on their own. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, there they go. The Dark Riders come in here, riding down these Poison Wind Globadiers. So they do have that huge armor, and I don't think Dark Riders have very much armor-piercing damage. So they'll be doing some good stuff in combat with those guys. Hargoneth Executioner's taking a little bit of AoE damage, but for the most part, that AoE just absolutely annihilated those poor Clan Rat Spears. And that Murderous Mastery or murderous prowess, depending on what kind of unit is popped. So you can see the purple swirling little miasma around the flags and stuff like that. Oh my God, they're shredding these poor rats apart. Look, everybody's starting to run. They're like, all right, we're just kidding. We're just kidding. Let's get out of here. We're just joking around. Well, it's not. Let's not actually fight this battle. Fuck, they're getting devastated. And this is exactly what was gonna happen. Like, man, that murderous mastery. And like I said, like the Black Orc Corsairs, the Witch Elves, they're in such good standing. Like they have so many kills, I'm assuming. We'll have to take a look at the end screen after the battle, but man, the fucking the Skaven just got eaten alive right there. Holy hell. Dread Spears are looking good too. Malekith's looking good. These fucking knights are rampaging. They're just going everywhere, fucking murdering everything. Nice little attack animation right there off of Queek. I liked watching that. How he kind of like jumps up and like swings down, coming down with his little blade on his right hand or whatever. Nice stuff off that. Another AoE spell in the background over there. Doomwill trying to do his best to just take out everything he can. Yeah. He said this is pretty much it. That's right. I mean, there's nothing that these guys can do anymore. Like the Doomwill's doing okay. But I mean, once he gets caught by like the Cold One Knights or something like that, or even these Dread Spears or Bleak Spears, whatever they were, that's gonna be it. Yeah, he got stuck now in combat, so he's gonna be done. He's done for, unfortunately. He also has the Rampage mechanic as well, or Out of Control. Huh. I wonder what kind of units have Out of Control / Rampage and what kind of units don't. That's gonna be something I have to look up because I feel like it's just kind of happening randomly now. I'm just like, huh. Thought they didn't have it, but now they do. All right. Yeah, they're getting destroyed. And that's gonna be it for them. Yeah. Poor Queek can't get out of this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the kills here. 72 and 90 on the Death Hag and Malekith. These Harganath Executioners just destroyed the front lines. 103 on these Witch Elves, and they're barely at 60% HP or so. These guys did all right too. The Black Orc Corsairs, 91 kills on this unit. The Cold One Knights, even though they got, fucking destroyed at that very first engagement, 174 kills, 66, 92. It's not bad. It's a lot of kills, These Skaven, 8, 2, 16. Oh, God. Yeah, that's definitely not enough. The Doomwheel, though, 65. He got a lot of shots off with that thing, and that's exactly how you want to play that. But he definitely lacked, like, Storm Vermin, because that's what you want to bring against these Dark Elves, because they have so much access to high DPS units. You want really high armor to counter that, and he didn't do that at all. He brought really squishy units that do lots of damage. So Plague Sensor Bearers, Death Runners, and stuff like that do lots of damage in return, but they just couldn't survive. They didn't have the sustainability to be able to live that long. So you gotta find that balance between Sturm Vermin and not Sturm Vermin. So big deal for the Skaven to do that. So that's gonna be it for this video. So that's all 4 battles. Of course, this game does come out on the 28th. There are going to be people with live streams, I'm assuming, probably like a week or so early, maybe 2 weeks early, depending on like if they send out codes to people early or not, whatever. But that's pretty much it for now. So if you like what you saw, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. And as always, guys, I'll catch y'all later.